bring back the cumulative viewers that they've lost.
Yeah, I think if your objective is ratings, it's a win. But if your main priority is being objective, I think it was a loss.
The only reason you're angry is because he crushed it.
What's up, you all? Welcome back. I am Van, and we are all the LFR family. Thank you so much for clicking play. Hopefully you click that like button as well. Now, we already know that Trump was on CNN. They tried to set that man up with gotcha questions. And somebody just now told me in a town hall, this is not about debating. It's about answering the questions of the people. And if the moderator, whoever's the moderator of the town hall, is about answering the questions of the moderator, not being put in a position of any type of, see, I got you. I never knew what a gotcha question was. Like when McCain, John McCain, RIP to John McCain, and Sarah Palin was running, right? And something I kept on hearing them say, that's a gotcha question. That's a gotcha question. I never knew what it meant, but I thought it sounded funny, so I would make fun of it. And plus, I was far left when they was running. So, you know what I mean? I absolutely love the fact when somebody says something mean or disrespectful about Barack Obama to John McCain. John McCain took the time out to do something classy. He cleared it up and was like, yo, nah, he's a good man, blah, blah, blah. You know, he just was classy about it. And I love that. So, yeah. So that's what the town hall was supposed to be about. Connecting with the people and answering their questions. Well, we have Patrick Bet-David over on Valuetainment, and I always like to check out his channel because, you know, I run a business, a small business, and I'm not that great at running my business. I'm just going to be 1,000% transparent with you. Patrick Bet-David and another gentleman were talking about Trump on CNN. I have yet to check this out because I wanted to check it out with you all, and let's see what happens.
CNN boss Chris Licht facing fury of criticism within the company over Trump's town hall. We haven't yet responded to this story because we've been gone for about a week. So we have to kind of touch this story here, what happened. So he's facing criticism after the company
shout out to South Africa. Wow.
Brought in former President Donald Trump a platform to spread lies. Keep in mind, spread lies and his conspiracy theories during a town hall. The decision was widely criticized, with one staffer stating, I can't believe anyone thought this was a good idea. CNN's own media owner, Oliver Darcy, reported on the backlash following the town hall, describing CNN and Chris Licht as facing a fury of criticism. The network, which has been trying to move away from its left-leaning coverage, was accused of putting moderator Caitlin Collins in a no-win situation. Despite the criticism, Chris Licht defended the town hall and Collins' performance, stating that they obtained Trump's answers and made significant news. He dismissed suggestions that Collins did not push back hard enough on Trump's claims and emphasized that the job is to get answers and hold the powerful accountable. Licht also praised Collins, stating that she exemplified what it means to be a world-class journalist.
They praised her for being a world-class journalist? You out your freaking mind. Come on, bruh. Even I know that was trash. She did a horrible job. That's just my opinion, but let's continue.
And asked tough, fair, revealing questions. Tom, did Chris Licht do a good job? Or did he make the right decision having Trump on? And what are your thoughts with all these people losing their minds?
Well, I don't like everything that's in Chris Licht's personal belief structure and platform, but he was brought into CNN to somehow bring it back to a more balanced credibility with the viewer. That was his mandate. We have to remember what was the mandate. Chris, we're off the edge here. We got to come back at least a little bit. You may be on a 1 to 10, we're a 9, but you got to get us back to like a 7. And you got to have something that gets us in a position where we can win some viewers back. And he got rid of Don Lemon, and there's a bunch of things that happened. So I think what happened here is that he's trying to do that. And he was honestly, and by the way, you know, once upon a time, there was an advertising comment that was made about CNN. And they says, man, our revenue every quarter has sucked since they canceled that Cool Desert Storm show. And this goes back to the war. This comes back to the Wolf Blitzer and the war. And remember that? CNN made bank on Operation Desert Storm. Let's face it, because they had something to do. Right now, they don't have anything to do. What do they have to do? Maybe Trump, maybe DeSantis, and hide for the president. So what has happened here is Chris Licht has done what he was told, but it is so endemic what's inside there that the natives have just come to his office calling for his head. And that's what happened. How could you? Because they see themselves, the media sees themselves as a liberal defender. They see themselves as the defender of that. They are basically like
They're political activists.
Yeah, they're defense lawyers for the president when his son's in trouble. Think about that. They're running to the microphone, putting the spin on the defense strategy for the president rather than covering what is happening to the president. So Chris Licht did what he was supposed to do, and it blew up because there's a lot of people still there that are, as you say, political activists that haven't moved yet. Moving a network under a mandate is really, really hard. It's those damn people.
And I think CNN is just a year ahead of Fox.
I
Just wait,
think-
Fox is going to be in the same position.
I think this is the smartest thing that CNN's done in a long time. And let me explain to you why I think it's the smartest thing CNN's done in a long time. Because when you're dealing in media and you're dealing with viewers, the problem is that when you do damage to the viewers, the damage to the viewers is cumulative. So if you start off with a media channel, you've got 100 people watching you, and you upset 5 of those 100 people.
And please forgive me, guys. If I don't do a whole bunch of talking, it's because I love being in a room where I'm not the smartest person in the room, right? And most times that's the case because I'm not that bright. I'm just going to be 1,000% with you. And it's okay because I like to learn. And when I hear people speaking on a topic and they sound like they know what they're talking about, I'm going to listen. And I will interject when I feel it necessary. But for the sake of understanding where they're coming from with regard to this conversation, with Trump being on CNN and they're breaking down the whole makeup of CNN and all of these news platforms that are starting to be shaken up a bit because things are just going far off the rails. You know what I mean? I'm just going to sit down and listen. But I will give y'all some commentary that may or may not make sense because that's what I do.
And they leave. You got 95 people watching you. And then you do damage again. You lose another 5 viewers. You've now got 90 people watching you. And so your market gets smaller and smaller because inevitably in media, you're going to upset people. That's how it works. I think the only way to bring the 10 people that you've lost back and more is to do crazy shit that you ordinarily wouldn't do. And I think that that's what they did here. This is something that CNN wouldn't ordinarily do. I think this is something that brought a whole lot of viewers to CNN. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched CNN in years, since Desert Storm, the Desert Storm series. I haven't watched CNN in years. But now I just remembered who CNN were, and I just remembered there was a channel called CNN. And I think they were the big winners here. I think they were the big winners on the night. And I think that we need more of the traditional media companies that are falling to do extreme things like this, which they ordinarily wouldn't do, to try and bring back the cumulative viewers that they've lost.
Yeah, I think if
And
your
that
objective is ratings, it's a win. But if your main priority is being objective, I think it was a loss. Because
Thank you. That's what I was about to say. Now, the guys that we're listening to, they look at everything from a business perspective. And that's why I really enjoy Valuetainment, because you get a lot of value when it comes to that. But I do not think it's a good thing for a news source to shake things up and be more dramatic and extremely disrespectful just for the sake of viewership. That's the problem today. I think that's an issue. The fact that you have, like, for instance, it happened on the floor at the town hall where the Caitlyn young lady was talking to Trump, and she was just trying to start an argument, and she just calling him liar and bringing up all this BS from 2020, and he's there not to talk about 2020. He's there to talk about the future. And that's what most of the people who tuned in wanted to hear about. They don't want to hear about no damn 2020 anymore. They didn't want to hear about no setups, no gotchas, no any of that. And then it happened when they had a panel of voters in a room, and they had the old dude that I call Mr. Rogers asking them questions, but he was asking them leading questions that had to do with nothing but 2020 again, and it just was not productive. Now, they're saying that CNN won the night because of the ratings, because of the drama. This ain't WWE. It's not WWF. It's not any of these type of shows where you need that dramatization in order to boost ratings. That's when these news channels start effing up, in my opinion. At some point, Someone has to be the adult in the room. We have Trump here for the night. We can make it boring and get some real answers and see if he is really about running again for the people or for himself. We already drummed up a whole bunch of really, really good questions to ask him when he comes, for the sake of being objective, listening, and seeing and allowing voters to make up their minds themselves. But it wasn't about that. I don't think that the person that's running CNN giving the green light to these people to run things the way that they ran things was a good idea. That's just me. But nowadays, it's all about the ratings. It's all about the money. It's all about the views. It's not about the people. It should always be about the people when it comes to a news source, because if it's not about the people then, it's not going to be about the people tomorrow, the next day, or any of that. And then when voting it's time to vote again, they're really going to be about the views. They're really going to be about the ratings. Just like when Byron Donalds went to CNN and he sat down with Anderson Cooper, Van Jones, and a bunch of other people on the panel. I don't know if his last name is Jones. It's a couple of Vans out there. I'm starting to learn there's more Vans out there than I thought. Yeah, I thought I was the only one for 45 years. It seems like everybody is trying to come at the right with just gotcha stuff. Everything's about a debate. There's no adults in the room. People don't give a damn about getting to the truth of anything anymore. It's just about the numbers. Let's get to the numbers. We got to get paid a certain amount. Anyway, let me shut up. I'll talk more
But
later.
this is not Twitter. This is not Twitter. This is not Twitter. Is maybe objective. These guys are after money and sponsorship. Money and sponsorship comes after viewers. And CNN's dying. If you're dying, you do extreme things.
Yeah, I get it.
Well,
So they're talking about just saving the company. When it comes to saving the company, I get it. I get that part. I'm not going to be naive and say, well, you know what I mean? I would have done something crazy too if I saw that my company was just going down. And the only time they have great viewership is when we're talking about the opposition, when we're talking about Trump. So now that we got him in our building, let's do something crazy. I still think that there was a possibility, there was an opportunity there to do both things. If you want to make it more dramatized and, you know what I mean, all those other things just to gain viewers, you can do certain things and say certain things and drop your questions in a certain type of manner that will draw people in. But at the end of the day, it should be about the people. It should be about the country. It's no longer just the company, in my opinion.
Well, all of mainstream media is dying. All of legacy media is dying.
Yeah,
So
that's my point with Fox.
Do extreme things.
if you're looking at, I think 95% of all cable shows, are all, as far as most watched shows, are on Fox. So if you're CNN, if you're Chris Licht, and you're looking at Fox dominate, and then all of a sudden they let go or whatever happens with Tucker Carlson, and you're like, all right, our number one competitor is now drowning. Half their audience is basically, what's the average age of a Fox viewer? 65, and it might even be older than that. You're desperate. You need to do something. And what's the most desperate move you can do is bring on Donald Trump, you haven't had on your air in 5 years almost.
Or just hire Dylan Mulvaney.
Well, yeah, that might be next.
And attack him.
But now, all of a sudden, Rand Noor, all of a sudden is basically watching CNN again when you haven't watched there in years. And how many more Americans or international audience are doing the same thing?
I haven't seen this tweet, but I agree with it. The first line, CNN. I think there were two real winners that night, CNN and Trump. That was the big, and those are the two big winners for me on the night of that debate. Both of them shocked me. CNN shocked me because of what they did and how they owned what they did at the time. Like at the time, they owned it. And the other one that shocked me was Trump.
You know why they're so scared. So think about why you're scared. You're never scared when somebody performs shitty. You're like, oh, that was great. The guy was an idiot. He looked like a fool. He was like, the only reason you're angry is because he crushed it, right? Only reason. The audience. I can't believe the audience was clapping for him. How dare they clap? How dare they clap for the guy? You know, that's exactly. They got 3.3 million viewers, okay? Most watched cable news network of the night, 780,000 people in the critical 25 to 45 advertising demo. Employees are complaining and bitching. You're in a media space. You're supposed to get eyeballs. That's what your job is. That's like Dana White not making a Conor McGregor fight because Conor will promote Proper 12 and all he'll do is increase the valuation of his drink. Who gives a shit? Let him do it anyways. This is another reason why DEI and ESG scores cause CEOs of Fortune 500 companies to make dumb decisions to please a crowd. I think Lick did a great job. Now, if they fired a guy, Lick, we're hiring a new CEO right now. But if they fired a guy and he's sitting there saying, "Are you freaking kidding me? That's the job he's trying to do, and you want to do something like this to him?" This is an opportunity for CNN to sit there and right after Fox got a black eye. Fox got crushed by what they did to Tucker. CNN's now winning.
And Dominion.
This is a phenomenal opportunity for CNN. They should be celebrating. But Anderson Cooper said, I understand some of you may never want to watch this network ever again. And I understand why. But shouldn't we see the other side? Shouldn't we give people the opportunity to expose themselves like he just did? Shouldn't we do this?
But food for thought. Do you think it could be a Bud Light moment?
This is why CNN is on the
I think
decline.
it's a great capitalist moment.
But you see what I'm saying? When
of course, I know what you're saying.
It could very well be a Bud Light moment. It could very well be something that gives get them a whole bunch of views up front, get them a bunch of attention up front, a whole bunch of shock value up front, but then a drastic decline. That's the gamble right there. They rolled the dice, right? They rolled the dice. Now they got to find the next. Oh man, that was good. We got Trump to come up here, and Trump will go back. I bet you any type of money that if they invite Trump back to do anything else on CNN, he will go back because the dude ain't scared. He will face any type of questions that they may have, and he will answer them, and he will bully them, and they will take it on the chin because they know that this is the only way we can get some ratings right now. This is the only way we can get the views that we need, and we need to keep on moving in that way, or we're going to continue to lose our investors, and we're going to continue to have to fire people because we can't pay them. So yeah, CNN definitely did win when it came to that, and when it came to them being the most viewed network that evening. Absolutely. But what about the next day and the next day? How many tricks can they pull out of their hat? How many all of the tricks can't be Trump. They can't all be Trump. So at the same instance, I need for them to really pick it up when it comes to that, man.
And viewer just says, okay, we're protesting. We're never watching you again.
You're right. It could be. It very, very well could be a Bud Light moment where,
you know what the problem is? You just said that you've just mentioned the whole problem. There's momentum inside an organization, and someone went against the momentum of the organization. The problem is, the question is whether the jolt was enough to disrupt the momentum of the organization and inside it. Because if not, it's like a meteor coming from the earth.
Yeah.
And the direction is down because everyone's pushing down. And what he did was he tried to push them back up. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that Anderson Cooper apologizing and is just everybody pushing the meteor down back to hit the ground.
So hopefully y'all understood what they were saying, right? Whoever this Chris guy is, apparently he is now the head of operations when it comes to creating better shows and boosting their ratings over at CNN. And he made a decision for this to go down the way it did. Was it smart? We won't know until the near future, more than likely. We'll start to hear a whole bunch of things, and I'm going to try my best to keep my ear to the street when it comes to this. But I don't think it was very smart. I don't know. So it might have been like perfect. It might have been that perfect storm to turn their trajectory around, to turn it back to where it once was.